Okay, let's unpack this. If navigating social media marketing for your business, well, if it feels like trying to nail jelly to a wall that's also maybe on a roller coaster, you're definitely not alone.
Uh-huh. It changes so fast.
Exactly. Strategies that felt, cutting edge last year, they're kind of gathering dust already. The whole digital landscape is just shifting under our feet constantly.
It really is.
But here's the thing, the powerful truth we pulled from this stack of sources you've given us. Social media is actually more vital than ever for connecting, engaging, really growing a business if you get the new rules of the game.
That's the crucial part, understanding the now.
And that's our mission for this deep dive. We've waded through everything you shared, comprehensive industry reports, lots of data-heavy studies, practical guides, expert commentary too.
It's a good mix.
It's a really rich mix, yeah, all focused on understanding social media marketing like right here, right now in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And our goal isn't just to summarize, it's to pull out the absolute most important nuggets, the counterintuitive stuff, the strategic pivots you actually need to make so you can stay ahead without just feeling totally buried.
And these sources, they provide exactly that. It's a clear view of the ground truth, and it's backed by data, which is important. We're looking at actionable strategies, not just vague predictions.
Right.
It's actually fascinating to see the alignment on some core trends across big reports like the HubSpot data, the Sprout Social Index, and then practical advice from people really living this day-to-day. These aren't theoretical shifts. They are impacting reach, engagement, results today. So yeah, let's dive in. Let's see what really stands out.
All right, let's jump straight into maybe the biggest thing, this kind of seismic shift that almost every source highlights.
Okay.
Because it changes everything about how your content gets seen. The algorithms, they've fundamentally moved away from what they used to call the social graph. Basically showing you stuff mainly from people or pages you already follow.
Right, your existing network.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To what's now known as the interest graph. Think TikToks. They kind of pioneered this. It means the platforms are now prioritizing content they predict you'll be interested in based on how you watch, what you like, regardless of whether you follow the creator or not.
And what's really fascinating there is the implication of that shift, right? The sources explain that these platforms are using increasingly sophisticated AI. It's analyzing not just who you know, but how you interact with content.
How long you watch for.
Exactly. How long do you watch? What do you comment on? What makes you scroll past immediately? Based on all these little signals, the AI builds this picture of your interests, and it's constantly testing content against that picture.
So if your stuff keeps people watching.
Bingo. If your content can grab someone's attention and crucially keep them watching, whether it's a short TikTok or a longer YouTube video, the algorithm sees that as a really strong signal of interest. And it shows it to more people it thinks share that interest.
Wow.
This is why you can literally have 0 followers, like none, and still have a video just take off. Engagement time, relevance to what the AI thinks people are interested in, that's king now.
Okay, so if engagement and interest are the new currency, what kind of content is actually winning? The answer across the board, it seems deafeningly clear. Video, video, video.
No escaping it.
Not at all. And YouTube, as one source points out, it isn't just the most used platform, it's the second largest search engine in the world.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah. People are going there specifically to find things, to learn things, not just, connect with Aunt Carol.
Right. It's an intent base.
Exactly. So you absolutely need a video strategy, and it feels like it has to be dual track. These short, punchy, vertical videos for Reels, TikToks, think attention-grabbing hooks right at the start.
Gotta hook them fast.
And also longer, more in-depth, horizontal content, mainly for YouTube. That's where you provide the real value, the education, the storytelling. And here's a super practical nugget, totally non-negotiable according to the sources. Add captions to everything.
Oh, definitely.
The data shows just a huge percentage of people watch videos with the sound off, especially scrolling through feeds in public or whatever.
Yeah.
And most editing tools make this pretty simple now. So yeah, it's just essential. No excuses.
And building on that video point, one of the most, let's say, strategic takeaways from the sources is this heavy emphasis on repurposing.
Ah, yes.
Working smarter. Exactly. The idea of creating totally new, original content for every single platform, every single day. It's just exhausting and frankly unnecessary.
It's burnout central.
Totally. Instead, think of your longer form content like a detailed YouTube tutorial or even this conversation we're having. Think of that as your source material, your pillar content. You can easily carve out multiple short clips, highlight reels, maybe specific teaching moments from that one piece. There are tools mentioned like Opus Clip, which uses AI specifically to find and cut those engaging short clips.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and things like repurpose.io for automating the distribution across platforms, or Descript for easy transcription and editing. These tools are highlighted because they dramatically cut down the manual grunt work involved. It's all about multiplying your output without, multiplying your effort in the same way.
That makes a lot of sense. And speaking of AI,
Mm-hmm.
its role seems to go way beyond just powering the algorithms now. The sources show AI is really becoming a sort of co-pilot in content creation itself.
Absolutely.
It's not just about automating posting times anymore, though it does that too. It's about actually augmenting human creativity and efficiency. I saw one report citing figures like 75% of marketers saying AI helps them be more creative.
Yeah, I saw that too. And 72% reported better performance with AI-assisted content. That's significant.
It really is. It's transforming the how of creating content.
Exactly. And the applications are getting really sophisticated. AI tools can analyze current trends, suggest topics you might not have even considered, making sure your content is actually relevant to what people are searching for or buzzing about right now.
So it helps you stay current.
Definitely. They can help brainstorm ideas, even draft initial versions of captions or ad copy or video scripts. Sometimes surprisingly well, actually.
Better than my first drafts, probably.
Maybe. And they can automate tasks like scheduling for optimal reach, using data to figure out the best times. They can predict which visual styles might resonate best and, like we just discussed, massively streamline repurposing.
Are there specific tools people are using?
Yeah, the sources mention things like Jasper.ai for writing assistance, and also the AI features built into social management platforms, like Sprout Social has its AI assist and suggestions features. These are becoming pretty mainstream. If we connect this to the bigger picture, AI isn't just about automation anymore. It's about overcoming those creative blocks, increasing output while keeping quality high, maybe even improving it, which is crucial when the platforms are so hungry for fresh content.
Okay, so we've got these interest-driven algorithms. Video is the dominant format. AI is our efficiency and creativity booster. But, and this came through crystal clear in the sources, none of this works effectively without a foundational strategy.
Right. You can't just spray and pray.
Exactly. Just posting more isn't the answer. You need a plan. And that plan has to start with the end in mind.
Yeah.
The first step, emphasized again and again, is setting clear, measurable goals. What are you actually trying to achieve?
Like, is it brand awareness?
Yeah, or driving website traffic, generating actual leads and sales. Or maybe you're using social mainly for customer service. Your key performance indicators, your KPIs, they have to align with those specific goals.
And once you know your goals, the next absolute strategic must-do is deeply understanding your target audience. Who are they really? What are they interested in? Where do they actually spend their time online?
Because they're not all on every platform.
Not at all. And that research dictates which platforms you should prioritize. Trying to be everywhere at once is often just a recipe for burnout and really diluted effort. The sources strongly advise picking the platforms where your audience is most active, and importantly, where you have the bandwidth to show up consistently with quality content.
Right, your own capacity is a real constraint.
It absolutely is. You have to respect it strategically.
So strategy, goals, audience, platform choice. How do you know if any of it is actually working?
Data. Simple as that. This is where analytics come in, and the sources are just adamant that a data-driven approach isn't optional anymore. It's fundamental.
What kind of metrics are we talking about?
Things like reach, impressions, definitely engagement rate, so clicks, likes, shares, comments, saves are increasingly important.
Say is interesting.
Yeah, it signals real value or intent to return. Also, follower growth, naturally. But most critically, conversion rate. How is this activity tying back to your actual business goals? That's your feedback loop.
Okay, so you need to be looking at this stuff regularly.
Absolutely. You need to be using the native analytics tools on each platform, which are getting better, by the way, and also external tools like Google Analytics to track what happens after someone clicks through from social to your website.
See the whole journey.
Exactly.
Right.
And furthermore, social listening tools got highlighted. These monitor conversations happening across different platforms. They're invaluable for understanding in real time the sentiment around your brand, your industry, and spotting emerging trends your audience is actually talking about. If we connect this back, data isn't just numbers for a report you file away. It's the roadmap. It tells you what content is hitting the mark, where your audience actually is, and how your efforts are impacting your business objectives. It's really the difference between just guessing and actually knowing what works.
Okay, let's drill down into the content itself again, because even with the best strategy and all the data, the kind of content you create matters hugely. The sources really stress it needs to be compelling, and it needs to authentically reflect your brand persona.
Authenticity comes up a lot.
It does. And here's a key insight. Compelling doesn't always mean like Hollywood production values. Often, relatable, authentic, even slightly scrappy content can outperform highly polished videos.
Because it feels more real.
Yeah, exactly. More human, more trustworthy. User-generated content, or UGC, where your actual customers or fans create content about your brand, that's absolute gold for building trust and showing social proof.
People trust other people more than brands.
For sure. And a practical warning that came up: don't feel like you have to jump on every single trending sound or meme you see. Authenticity means staying true to your brand's voice, even if that means skipping a trend that just doesn't fit who you are.
Yeah, that's a good point. Adding to that compelling content idea, the sources offer a pretty simple but powerful framework. Create content that provides real value.
Value. Okay. Like how?
Well, it could be educational, how to avoid common mistakes in X industry, or it could be entertaining or inspiring. One particularly interesting tactic mentioned was leveraging your personal interests, things outside your core business.
Like your hobbies.
Exactly. Maybe you're passionate about golf or barbecuing or painting, whatever. You can create engaging content around that, build an audience based on that shared interest, and then you just have your business link in your bio or mention it strategically in captions sometimes.
So you lead with personality.
Yeah, you lead with personality and shared interest, and the business connection is sort of secondary, less overt. It raises an interesting question, right? How can you blend your authentic self and your knowledge with your business goals to create content that truly connects on a human level?
That's a cool angle. Now, while this organic reach powered by the interest graph is clearly a massive opportunity, the sources also talks quite a bit about paid social media.
Mm-hmm. The advertising side.
Right. And they suggest a really smart way to approach it. Instead of just, throwing money at ads and hoping something sticks, use your organic results for what they called creative validation.
Oh, I like that term, creative validation.
It's brilliant, isn't it? When an organic post does significantly better than your average one source. You used an example like a video gets 2,000 views when you usually get 7.
Okay, that's a clear signal.
That tells you that specific piece of content resonated. People liked it.
And that's the content you put your ad money behind.
Yeah.
You take that proven organic winner, the one that already connected, and you run it as a targeted ad.
So if you're a local business.
Yeah, maybe you run that specific video as a Facebook ad targeted just to people within a 10-mile radius, or whatever makes sense for you. This approach drastically reduces the risk and increases the potential ROI of your paid spend.
Because you're not guessing anymore.
Exactly. You've already validated that the creative works with an audience organically. You're essentially leveraging the free testing ground of organic social to inform your paid strategy, making your advertising budget work much, much harder.
Smart. Now, the sources also did a good job laying out the pros and cons of really diving into social media marketing. We've hit on a lot of the pros already.
Yeah, enhancing brand recognition, it can be cost-effective compared to older channels.
Driving traffic, enabling really targeted engagement, building those direct relationships with
The
customers.
huge positives. But the cons are real too, and you need to consider them carefully.
Like what?
Well, it is time-consuming, let's be honest. Consistency and effort are absolutely required. The algorithms are unpredictable, they change all the time, and that can be really frustrating.
Tell me about it.
Right. There's also the risk of public negative feedback or even a full-blown crisis that, if you don't handle it quickly and well, can seriously damage your reputation.
Yeah, that's scary.
And while the analytics are getting better, sometimes truly quantifying the direct ROI from a specific social activity can still be a bit challenging. It's getting easier, but it's not always straightforward. Oh, and a crucial point, highlighted in one source: social media isn't universally accessible. The digital divide is real, so it really shouldn't be your only channel for reaching customers.
Good reminder, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
Now, one interesting path that came up was the idea of starting your own social media marketing agency. One source noted, kind of provocatively, that it can theoretically be started with $0. Your skills are the main asset.
Right. Low barrier to entry in theory.
And businesses clearly need help navigating all this complexity we've been talking about. The path seems to be learn the skills, find clients, maybe even businesses that aren't really on social yet reach out, land that crucial first client to build momentum and get a case study.
Get some proof points.
Yeah, and then scale up by consistently delivering results and maybe offering more services over time. It really does just take that one client to get the ball rolling.
But adding a critical counterpoint, also from the sources, while hiring help is an option, it's strongly, strongly recommended that you, the business owner or leader, spend about 6 months really focusing intensely on doing social media yourself first.
Getting your hands dirty.
Deeply dirty. One source calls this day trading attention. The idea is you need to be in the trenches, understand the mechanics, the platforms, the content creation grind, how to actually read the data yourself.
For you know what good looks like.
Precisely. By doing that, you'll be far better equipped to understand what good work looks like, and you can effectively manage or judge the work of any employees or agencies you might hire later on. This approach kind of suggests you shouldn't just dabble, be stuck in the middle.
Go all in one way or another.
Kind of. Either commit fully to this new school approach, the content creation, the engagement, leveraging that interest graph, or, as another source suggests, maybe lean heavily into more old school principles, but adapted for the digital age, like the whole thank you economy concept.
The thank you economy. Tell me more about that.
This idea, emphasized in one source, is basically about winning in the digital space by just being inherently good, kind, helpful, and authentic in all your online interactions.
So being a good human online.
Pretty much. It's about building trust and community by consistently adding value and showing genuine gratitude without an immediate what's in it for me expectation. It posits that in an era where everyone's scrambling for attention and clicks, that genuine human connection and consistent generosity online can actually be a powerful, differentiating business strategy all by itself. So yeah, pick a lane, understand the mechanics, and really commit to it.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what does all of this really mean for you listening right now, trying to tackle social media in 2025? It means it's incredibly dynamic, it's powerful, it's pretty much non-negotiable, but it demands constant adaptation.
You can't stand still.
Not at all.
Yeah.
We've seen that fundamental power shift from the social graph, who you follow, to the interest graph, what you watch, and what that means for your potential reach.
Yeah, huge implications there.
We've underlined the absolute dominance of video, the need for that dual-track strategy, short and long, and that simple but critical detail. Captions. Always captions.
We've also explored how AI isn't some futuristic thing anymore. It's a current co-pilot, ready to boost your creativity and efficiency right now.
But none of it happens by accident. It requires a clear strategy grounded in your goals, deep audience research, and, maybe above all, data.
Data is your roadmap. It tells you what's working, what's not. It's absolutely essential.
We talked about creating content that isn't just slick, but authentic, relatable, content that adds genuine value. Even exploring maybe unconventional approaches, like leveraging your personal interests to connect.
And we saw how paid social can be used smartly, not as a gamble, but as an amplifier for the organic content that's already proven it connects, using that creative validation idea.
We've weighed the pros and cons, too, acknowledging the time commitment, the unpredictability, but also the immense potential for connection and growth.
And we looked at that strategic choice you face, either diving deep yourself first, becoming that day trader of attention before you think about hiring help, or finding partners, but only once you really understand the landscape well enough to actually guide them effectively.
And maybe underpinning all of it, that potential power of the thank you economy.
Yeah.
Building real trust and community through just authentic generosity. So here is maybe the mindset shift for today, distilled from all these sources. Success on social media in 2025 seems less about chasing fleeting trends or just racking up follower counts, and more about becoming a genuinely valuable, authentic presence.
Someone the algorithms want to show people.
Exactly. Because your content resonates with specific interests. And someone people want to follow and engage with because you provide real value and genuine connection. It feels like a shift from just chasing metrics to really embodying certain principles.
Well said. So maybe consider this provocative thought for you to explore after this deep dive. If the new reality is that these algorithms are actively trying to match any valuable content with the right audience based purely on interests, forget follower counts for a second, what unique piece of knowledge, skill, or passion do you possess? What could you start sharing consistently right now, knowing that there's likely an audience out there, maybe small, maybe large, waiting for exactly that kind of value.
What value can you provide today? That really is the question, isn't it? Okay, let's dive in. We've got this great stack of sources, HubSpot data, insights from Gary Vee, Neil Patel, Sprout Social, all looking at social media marketing as we head towards 2025. And wow, the biggest thing is just speed. It's changing so fast.
Right. It really feels like last year's playbook is already, gathering dust. Strategies are becoming obsolete almost overnight.
But, and this is the kicker, despite all that churn, the sources all agree. Social media, still probably the most powerful way to actually connect with your audience, build something real, and grow your business.
Absolutely. If you know how to navigate it, that is. And that's really what we want to unpack for you in this deep dive. We're pulling the key insights, sure, but focusing on how this stuff plays out in the real world.
Yeah, less theory, more practice. How do you actually cut through the noise? How do you make those connections feel genuine?
And how do you take a video you shot on your phone, maybe an organic post, and turn that into actual local sales? These sources have some pretty concrete ideas. Let's get into it.
So first up, that speed of change. HubSpot's data is pretty clear. The way people use social media is shifting rapidly. If your business isn't adapting, you're falling behind.
Yeah, and falling behind now is way more costly than it used to be. Gary Vee is really blunt about it. He basically says, if you're not figuring this out, someone else is, and they're going to take your business. You got to ride the wave.
Oof, strong words. But the flip side is opportunity, right? HubSpot, Gary Vee, they all circle back to the fact that this is still the dominant space for engagement, for growth.
Definitely. You just need to understand the new rules of the game. And probably the biggest shift, accelerated by TikTok but now everywhere, is moving away from just chasing followers.
The follower count vanity metric.
Exactly. Gary Vee and Neil Patel talk a lot about this concept of the interest graph. It's less about who you follow and more about what the platform thinks you'll be interested in seeing.
Okay, so the interest graph, break that down a bit.
Think about your feed like on Reels or TikTok or even YouTube Shorts. It's not just people you follow anymore, is it? The AI is watching what you watch, what you linger on, what you skip.
Right. It learns my habits.
Precisely. And it uses those patterns, like Neil Patel explains, to show you content it predicts you'll like, even from creators you've never heard of. The algorithm is basically playing matchmaker between content and eyeballs based on interest.
So my content could find the right audience, even if I don't have a huge following to start.
That's the potential game changer. Gary Vee argues this makes organic social media, done right, maybe the single biggest driver of business growth available today, because good content can find its audience algorithmically.
Which kind of explains why Gary Vee also says a lot of businesses are on social media but aren't seeing results. They're still thinking broadcast to my list instead of create for the interest graph.
Exactly. They haven't quite cracked the code on what makes the algorithm, pay attention. They're not good at it yet, as he puts it.
So what is good content in 2025? What are the sources saying works?
Okay, headline number 1, video. Video, video, video. HubSpot is super direct here. If you're not seriously doubling down on video, you might as well be invisible. Shouting into the void, they say.
Strong analogy.
Yeah.
And any specific platforms?
YouTube gets a big mention. It's the most used platform overall, and the second biggest search engine people search on YouTube for answers, not just Google. Plus, Gary Vee and Neil Patel point out that YouTube Shorts have a longer lifespan than, say, Instagram Stories. They can drive traffic for months.
Okay, so longer shelf life on Shorts. Interesting.
Yeah. But it's not just about making video. It's about the type of video and the strategy. Consistency is key. Gary Vee suggests aiming for maybe 1 or 2 original pieces of content, videos, or pictures daily.
Daily. Wow.
Yeah, and then tweaking them for each platform. You can't just blast the same thing everywhere. LinkedIn needs a different vibe than TikTok, right? HubSpot really emphasizes tailoring content to the platform's audience and style.
Makes sense. You wouldn't post a deep dive financial analysis on TikTok with a trending sound, probably.
Probably not. But speaking of vibe, another huge theme is authenticity. Relatable, even kind of scrappy content shot on a smartphone. It's often outperforming polished, high-production stuff. Sprout Social's research backs this up. Consumers crave authenticity.
Okay, give us some real-world examples. What does that authentic content look like?
Gary Vee has great ideas for service businesses. Like, if you're a plumber, make videos showing people how to fix really simple clogs themselves.
Wait, teach them not to call you?
Sounds crazy, right? But it builds massive trust. You become the helpful expert. Or say you're an electrician who just wired a new local pizza place. Make a video reviewing their pizza. It's local, it's real, it connects you to the community.
I like that. It feels very human.
Totally. He even suggests videos about your hobbies, fishing, cooking, whatever. Mention your business in the bio. It lets people connect with the person behind the service.
And other examples.
Sprout mentions Sani, an apparel company, doing a day-in-the-life TikTok with their founders. Super relatable. And even Zoom, the meeting software company, did a funny Instagram reel about weird workplace signs. It shows personality.
So it's about showing up as real people, basically.
Exactly. Simple, lo-fi video can work wonders. Oh, and a technical tip from HubSpot. Captions. Always use captions. Most people watch videos with the sound off. Editing apps make it easy now, so no excuses.
Good point. Okay, daily posts, authentic video, captions. That sounds like a ton of work. How do people manage this?
Well, that's where AI comes in. It's not just hype, it's becoming a massive efficiency tool. HubSpot found that 75% of marketers feel AI makes them more creative, and 72% see better results using it.
More creative and better results.
How? AI can analyze trends, brainstorm ideas, help write captions, even refine the tone of your post to match your brand voice, according to Sprout. It takes some of the load off.
And the big one seems to be repurposing, right?
Huge efficiency gain there. Neil Patel talks about this a lot. You record one longer video, maybe a podcast, a webinar, a deep dive explanation, and use AI tools to chop it up into tons of short clips for Reels, TikTok, Shorts.
So one effort, many pieces of content?
Exactly. Or transcribe the audio into a blog post. AI does the heavy lifting. Neil Patel even suggested a flow. Test text ideas on X, see what resonates, turn the winners into videos, then transcribe those videos into blog posts. It becomes a content engine.
What kind of tools are we talking about?
Things like Jasper.ai for writing assistance. Opus Clip is popular for auto-editing long videos into shorts. Repurpose.io, Descript for transcription and repurposing. These tools help you implement those workflow efficiencies HubSpot mentions.
And AI isn't just for making content, it helps with strategy too.
Yeah, definitely. AI can monitor social mentions at scale, help figure out the best times to post for your audience, analyze trends in your industry, even gauge the sentiment, the feeling behind conversations about your brand. Sprout mentions these as key capabilities.
Okay, so this combo of AI and the algorithms focus on the interest graph. It really reinforces that idea that good content can find its audience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Neil Patel emphasizes that if your content truly engages people around a topic the algorithm recognizes, you genuinely could get millions of views even starting from zero. The system helps good stuff rise.
Which validates Gary Vee's point about organic reach having real power again.
Right. But, okay, views are great, engagement is nice.
Right.
But businesses need results, right? Leads, sales, actual customers walking in the door. How does organic content translate?
Yeah, connect the dots for us.
This is where Gary Vee lays out a really practical, almost elegant model, especially for local businesses. It starts with putting out that organic content consistently.
Okay, so you're posting your authentic videos daily.
Right. Most might get, 10 views, 20 views, whatever's normal for you. But then maybe one video just hits different. It gets 1,000 views, 2,000 views. Not viral globally, but way above your average.
That's the signal.
That's what Gary Vee calls creative validation. The audience organically has told you, hey, this piece works, this resonates.
The market voted with its eyeballs.
Exactly. So now you take that specific video, the one that's already proven itself, and you put a little ad spend behind it. You run it as a targeted local ad.
Aimed right at people in your service area.
Precisely. Maybe a 10, 15-mile radius on Facebook or Instagram. The beauty is you've massively reduced the risk of wasting ad money. You know the creative works because it already performed organically.
We're betting on a proven winner.
You got it. And for a local business, putting just $100 or $200 behind that validated ad in a small geographic area, you can get incredible reach and frequency. Almost everyone in town might see that effective video multiple times.
And does it work? Are there examples?
Gary Vee uses his dad's liquor store as a prime example. They took videos that performed well organically, ran them as small, targeted local ads, spending maybe $1,000 total in their town, and reached nearly every household repeatedly. It directly boosted sales and crushed their old direct mail results.
Wow, that's tangible.
It really is. It creates the highest chance that ad spend will actually convert to business because the content is proven and the audience is relevant. And Sprout mentions other cases, like Stoneacre Motor Group hitting significant sales targets attributed directly to their social media marketing using similar principles.
So the strategy is create, validate organically, then amplify locally with paid.
That's a super powerful model, and it highlights that you need an overall strategy right from the start. Sprout's Guide hammers this home. Set clear, realistic goals first. What are you trying to achieve? Brand awareness, leads, customer service.
And then you need to measure against those goals.
Absolutely. Data is crucial. You need to track metrics like reach, clicks, engagement, conversions, video views. These KPIs tell you if you're actually moving the needle.
And proving ROI, return on investment, is key, especially when you need to justify the time and resources.
Definitely. You need to show how social media contributes to the bigger business objectives. Sprout really stresses aligning your social KPIs with those overarching goals. Use the built-in analytics, use Google Analytics with tracking, use social listening tools, gather the data.
Like Penn State Health, using social strategically for patient communication. Even in a tricky regulated industry, they're still using it effectively and likely measuring its impact.
Right, it's a whole cycle. Create, measure, learn, adapt, amplify.
And we can't forget the social part of social media. It's about people.
So true. HubSpot has a great line. Think of it as hanging out with your audience, not broadcasting at them. It's about building relationships.
Gary Vee calls it the thank you economy, just being kind, engaging, responding, that builds goodwill, that translates into business.
And people expect it now.
Yeah.
Sprout's research found the most memorable thing a brand can do is respond to customers. Fast, personal customer care is a top demand for 2025. That Penn State example fits here too, being responsive, even just directing people.
And leveraging your own team employee advocacy. Sprout's data shows posts from employees get way more engagement than brand posts. Your team can be your best marketers.
For sure. And even with influencers, while still effective, Sprout notes that authenticity and genuine experience with the product matter more to consumers now than just big follower counts. Although younger groups might still focus more on reach, it's evolving.
Okay, so there's clearly a lot involved, and it requires skill, which leads to the opportunity for people who can do this well.
Oh, huge opportunity. Renee Lacaud makes a powerful argument that starting a social media marketing agency is incredibly accessible. You don't need a fancy degree or tons of capital, internet access, a phone. That's the barrier to entry.
Because so many businesses need help.
Exactly. Think of all the local businesses, restaurants, contractors, dentists, gyms. The owners are busy running the business. They often don't have the time or, frankly, the know-how to do social media effectively in 2025. That's your market.
Where do you find these clients?
Look on job boards, search social platforms for hiring social media help, or just use Google Maps. Find local businesses with weak or non-existent social media profiles and reach out.
Reaching out can be intimidating, though.
It can be. But Renee emphasizes you don't have to be some super extrovert. Email, DMs, texts work. Yeah, many won't respond, but persistence pays off. As he says, it only takes one business to change your life. He got started just by consistently reaching out.
And how do you land that first one with no track record?
He suggests maybe offering a free trial work for free for a month to prove your value and build trust, or just go for it, learn on the job. The key is getting that practical experience.
And once you have a client and get results,
then you scale. Deliver great social media management for a couple of months, build that trust, then offer more services. Add email marketing, maybe run some Google ads, create more content, bundle it up for a higher monthly retainer. You can dramatically increase your income per client this way.
So it's a real path, starting small and building up.
Absolutely. And it shows that even though social media marketing is complex, getting started is possible if you're willing to learn and hustle.
But let's be real, it's not easy, is it? There are challenges.
For sure. It takes consistent effort. Gary Vee is honest about the grind, especially early on when you post a video and get like 7 views. That can be discouraging. Algorithms change constantly, and you open yourself up to public criticism online.
So you need persistence.
You really do. Keep posting, keep learning. That one video will eventually get more views. That one client outreach will eventually land. You just got to stick with it.
And be efficient. Those AI tools, the repurposing strategies, they're not just cool, they're necessary to sustain the effort without burning out. You need smart workflows.
And continuous learning is part of the job. Gary Vee suggests dedicating serious time up front, like 10, 15 hours a week for months just learning the platforms and strategies. Read, watch, experiment, learn from others.
But learn the right way. Neil Patel warns against just blindly copying trends. Understand why something worked, the hook, the editing, the core idea, and adapt their principle to your niche.
Yeah, don't just jump on every random challenge. Sprout echoes this. Stay true to your brand. And always, always remember the goal isn't just to sell constantly. Add value, share info, build that community first.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the clear message from all these sources is social media in 2025 is incredibly dynamic. It demands strategy, it thrives on authentic video, it's supercharged by AI, guided by data, and ultimately it's about building real connections.
And whether you're running a business or thinking about starting an agency, the opportunity is massive, but you have to be willing to adapt and execute. Like Gary Vee said, someone's going to ride this wave. It might as well be you.
So here's something to think about. As AI gets even better at predicting our interests and authenticity becomes paramount, how should we fundamentally redefine what engagement or value truly means online? Are likes and shares enough anymore? Or do businesses need to aim for something deeper, something more genuinely connective to thrive in the years ahead? Mull that over.